beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, how can I make the categorical statement? All the hundreds of people that are here and the thousands and many thousands that'll be listening to the recording are all good-looking, because if you invested your most valuable asset, which is your time, into learning more about how to become the best you, in looking for the good in life, that's the definition of a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good in life. My name is Barry Shore, as our dear friend, thank you, Randy, has told you. And I am known as the ambassador of joy. So just understand that joy is an amazing acronym that stands for Journey of You. We're all on a wonderful journey. And I especially love working with Alignable. I'm deeply involved in Alignable. We have our own community group. I'm the leader of the nonprofit industry group, which has 91,000 plus people in it. I am dedicated to bringing that which I know from my business successes. I've had two public exits to public companies, and I've done remarkably well in terms of making money, but also learned a lot of lessons. And as you see from my picture, I'm over the age of 25. I'm actually chronologically 75, 48 metabolically because I swim 2 miles a day, 28 mental acuity because I work with a lot of 28-year-olds on the internet, and my SOW, which I urge everybody to learn about, which is my sense of wonder. I'm an 8-year-old. And really, that's the best way to kick off how to weather the AI storm. So let's go to the first slide here, Randy, and just show everybody what people think about when they think AI. My head explodes. Now, what is AI? Well, everybody knows that it stands for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. Now, the beautiful thing about artificial intelligence is that I've just been kicked off my Zoom here. How did that happen? Okay, we're back. I don't know how that happened, but I got kicked off. And you see, that's technology, isn't it wonderful? You never know. You never know what's going to happen with AI and very good technology. Let me tell you three words that I will hope are going to be the key to understanding what we're going to talk about right now, and that is these three words: you own it. You own it. You are already, whether you know it or not, deeply involved in AI. I'll explain what that means in just a couple moments. And you own it. You are fully capable of doing what's necessary in your business and in your life to be able to leverage the benefits of AI. That's how we weather the storm. We trim our sails and we enable ourselves to go through all of this and utilize everything that's available. So let's just take a look at the next slide, if you'd be so kind, wonderful Randy. We're going to put three myths up here and we're going to bust them. We love busting myths. So let's just talk about them right away. The first myth is, next, people overestimate the cost and complexity. Oh my gosh, AI. Does that mean I have to hire a consultant and do this stuff and take over years of my life and what's going to happen with my business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Is AI going to put a lot of people out of business? The answer is yes. Is AI going to put more people in business? Yes. Hey, we're business people. Business is built upon this wonderful foundation called change. So don't allow yourself to overestimate the cost and the complexity, because it's a lot less than you think on both counts. A lot less cost, lot less complex. Next, please. Where are the tools available? Well, gee, Barry, if you tell me it's less costly, less complex, what do I do? Where do I go? So the beautiful thing of being together here and Alignable is we're going to share resources, and some of these resources have zero cost. Some of these resources are going to cost you a lot. And I don't mean money, because it's going to cost your most valuable asset, your time, but it's going to be used well. As there's a great quote from an amazing man from antiquity named Archimedes. He says, give me a fulcrum and a sufficiently long lever, and I can move the world. Well, that's what you have the availability to do. You can move the world. So we'll show you where the tools are. And the third myth that we're going to bust is the perceived gap between skills and expertise, because everybody's going to admit, well, gee, I don't know. I don't have the skills. I don't have the expertise. Barry Shore included. Here's some of the best news of all. Uh, tell you a funny story. Let's go to the next slide, and then I'll tell you the story that goes with it. Let's see here. Yes. So this is a TV show from the 1960s. It was called The Jetsons. And of course, the Jetsons are all about the future. Now, this again, this is the 60s. This is more than 50 years ago. And the Jetsons were already projecting the idea of Zoom meetings. It wasn't called Zoom, but it was doing things over a monitor, online classes. Hello, it could have been Peloton, right? Teledoc. Hello, the Jetsons 50 plus years ago. FaceTime. This is all available to you. Here's what's really why I put this slide up here. Everything that's on here, you do, you use. So let me tell you the fun story. I was on a panel just recently with several wonderful, amazing people. One of them is the head of AI retail for a company called IBM. IBM. He's the head of AI retail. They have a whole division that is just geared to helping businesses with AI and retail. And I used an analogy because they asked me a question, and Joe Ditmar applauded. He loved it. I said, "But the real genius of AI is what's happening today for 80-year-old grandmothers. Why? Because 80-year-old grandmothers today regularly text on their smartphones. You know this. People, everybody in the world, text on their smartphones. Well, if you ask people 15 years ago, text, what is that? I wouldn't do it. And you ask, especially a person who's 60, 70, 80, well, I don't know how to do that. What do you do? Nobody even blinks an eye today. That is what happens with AI right now and in the future. Not only do not be afraid of it, it is one of the most wonderful, uplifting, beneficial processes that you could ever be involved with because it's going to make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. You like that? All three of those are yours available. Now let's go to the next slide because this is really where the fundamental is. This is the ultimate fundamental. This is a show that actually was on TV almost the same time. This predated by a couple of years the Jetsons, and it was called the Flintstones. So if you never heard of it, okay, it's worth it. Look it up, and if you know it, you'll laugh and you remember the song. It pops into your head. So look at what the Flintstones all about. It's about using Stone Age things to talk to people in the 1960s who had automobiles and air conditioning and houses and things like that. But I put this slide up for one reason and one reason only, to tell you that human nature doesn't change. I'll repeat that. Human nature doesn't change. Whether you're Stone Age people or you're Jetsons people, us, human nature doesn't change. People are still going to be kind, considerate, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, or they're not. And your goal in life is to be positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant, considerate, and kind. Because when you do that and you do it persistently, you will be successful. There is nothing in the world that can detract from your skills as a human being. Do you hear me? Now, does that mean AI will not replace what you do? I don't know. I don't know what you do. I can tell you right away, AI, it will certainly replace a lot of what we call white collar jobs. And it will probably replace many jobs we don't even know about yet. As I said, though, it will also create or have the opportunity to create that those number of jobs and more. But remember, whether you're the Jetsons or the Flintstones, human nature doesn't change. The things around you change. Hey, I'm going to put up something here that I hope everybody can see. And it's this. My wife calls it the rectangle. You all know it as a smartphone, but the phone part is an oxymoron because, yes, people do use it to speak and such like that, but you do so much more with it. It's really a computing device, and it's a computing device that is as powerful as most computers 30, 40 years ago, or even 5 years ago. And you use it regularly. You don't even think about it. It's AI. That's what a phone is. It's AI. So nothing to be afraid of. Okay, next slide, please, Randy. Remember, three words: you own it. Let's go to something that is fundamental in our understanding of the storm that is raging. And it's only a storm, by the way, because people tell you it's a storm. Don't believe it. artificial intelligence and human intelligence will always win. You hear me? Always win. Doesn't mean win in the sense of, well, will I lose my job? That's a different story. But let's look at this and internalize it. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Well, that's easy for you to say, Barry. Sure, you're rich and famous and all this stuff. I'm just a regular person that keeps growing. Remember, SOW is 8, sense of wonder. Don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. And by the way, big bravo. That's why you invested your time to be here today, to begin to learn about the process of how you utilize and leverage AI. Next slide, please, Randy. These are strategies for you to raise what we call our dopamine. Now, dopamine is what they call the good drug, meaning this is the stuff you need and want to be successful in every aspect of your life, business and life. They're interchangeable. There's no such thing as business and life. They are one in the same. I'm going to tell you a quick story that my father taught me when I was 9 years old. I had just come back. I grew up in a place called Boston, Massachusetts. We, thank God, had snowstorms every once in a while, cold and snowy and such. And in those days, sometimes you even call up school. Wow, celebration. Instead of going back to sleep or playing a game, I got dressed up, went out and shoveled snow to make money because my allowance was 25 cents. And then one day in particular, I remember this, I was 9 years old, big snowstorm and such, went out early in the morning. I worked for almost 11 and a half hours. Didn't even have a lunch break. Who did that? I had some cocoa that my mother had put in a thermos and such, but I shoveled snow. I made $55 that day. 9 years old in 66 years ago. Came back in the house, and my father said to me, my dear beloved son, he liked calling me that, how do you spell business? I said, Business. He says, that's right. Notice that the U comes before the I. Whenever you put the you first, the customers, the people you're interacting with, the people you care about, the I will always be taken care of. Do you hear this? So this is what I urge people to understand. When your dopamine levels, that good energy is raised up, the storm doesn't even matter. You're dancing, you're singing. And how do you do that? You adapt to stress better. Learn about diet, anti-inflammatory diet. It's not the time now. Sleep. Sleep is the miracle cure. One of the most important things you could ever do to benefit you. Utilize it, leverage it in your life. Improve your microbiome. We won't even talk about it. We don't have time now. Set goals. Goal setting is an imperative. You want to be in the world of success in every aspect of life, in your financial life, in your relationships, and in your health. Do small tasks. Small tasks done regularly, persistently, leads to bigger, and you will always, always be successful. You hear this? Always. Even when you stumble and fall down, pick yourself up. And of course, regular exercise. I'm just going to tell you very quickly, I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week. I have 9,497 miles under my belt that I put in over the past 14 years. Exercise makes a difference. Do it regularly. Next slide, please, Randy. This is one of the most important things we could ever talk about. Now, some people I think are scratching their heads and say, Barry, hey, I want all those, those real tips on AI. How does AI work? How does it my life, et cetera, et cetera? Well, you need to know the big part, the vision, as well as the small steps. So let's take a look at this. If you put in the work and stay consistent and you don't expect things to happen overnight, the result will always be your success. And you never give up, and don't be afraid to fail. Now, by the way, I've always pointed this out to people in the past 5 years, because I've been involved with AI now at least for the past 15 years, because it's been around that long. It's just become the buzz over the past year or two. Notice that in the word fail, you have AI, artificial intelligence. Don't let artificial intelligence cause you to fail or even stumble. And that's how you get better. You never give up. You don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to fall down because you know you're going to get back up. That's the genius of the people here. We're all business people. I don't like the word small business people. Doesn't matter what you do or how many people you employ or the size. It's a business. It's part of you. It's your essential aspect. That's how you get better. Never give up. Don't be afraid to stumble or fail because you can't. You hear that? My father taught me that also. He said, "My dear beloved son, you can't fail. Just keep going." Next slide, please. Three C's in life. This I learned from an amazing person named Jim Rohn, who was the teacher of Tony Robbins. I think everybody's heard him. Well, both of them. The three C's: choice, chance, change. You must. This is Jim Rohn, and he taught Tony Robbins and me. You must make the choice. Once you make the choice to go forward and learn, that's the key, the operative word, learn, to take the chance. What's the chance? Well, gee, maybe I don't know it right away. I won't be able to master it right away. Well, hello. Everybody here has a business that you are the master of, and you also recognize that as a master, you're still learning. That's the genius of being a master. A master is always learning. Make the choice to take the chance, and then if you want anything in life, you got to learn how to change. I've heard a great story from one of my mentors a long time ago. There's only one being in the world that likes to be changed, a baby with a dirty diaper. Everybody else doesn't embrace change. And yet, when you do so, and I am privileged to tell you, that is what enabled me to build real businesses. Embracing change. Easy? No. So who cares? It's supposed to be easy? No. It's not going to be easy. But learn the three C's: choice, chance, change. Internalize these wonderful six words. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine your pathway and your trajectory. So choose wisely, change, embrace it, love it. Next slide, please. I like this. This is a guy named Wally. Some of you might remember Wally from years ago. Well, this is what people often think about when they think of AI taking over the world. That people will be looking at a screen and he's sitting in a chair and just he's there. He's just a being. And by the way, it's really fascinating. I have a wonderful friend who's one of the most famous technology bloggers in the world. I think he has 21 or 23 million followers. It's just an amazing being. And he just got himself um, those vision glasses, not the big things you put on from Apple that they sell, I think, for $3,200. And he's walking through the streets and he's talking to us and telling us, and people looking and asking what it's like. And he said, "Cool, I love it. It's interesting." And then he's blogging, he's telling people, if you possibly can remember one of the first iPhones, this goes back more than a decade, 20 years almost. The first iPhone, you could barely do anything with it. You couldn't paste and cut and save and this and text and hello. And look at it today. You can't do without it, can you? Now, it's very much like money. This is what AI is all about. I'm going to tell you again, another something from my father. My father, actually, I'm sorry, it was my uncle that taught me this. I had a rich uncle, interesting enough. Uh, he gave me wisdom much more than the money, and I'm glad with that, even though I didn't appreciate it at the time. And he told me, Barry, I like you very much. I even love you. He said, money is a wonderful servant, it is a horrible master. Same thing with AI. It's a great servant. Isn't that wonderful? It's our servant. When we learn to become the master, we won't be like Wally. We will be wall eyed and enjoying life to the full, even more because the genius of AI, here it comes, the genius of AI is it not only will save you time, but it will enhance your superpower. Whatever power you have now, it will be enhanced, magnified, amplified. That's the beauty of AI. Next slide, please, Randy. Okay, I think we need to blow. I'm sorry, stay there for a moment. I just want to show everybody. These are The most common myths about AI. Oh, now let's blow it up a little bit. Yes, I think that's better for people to see. Common myths again. AI will take over jobs. Yes, it's true. It will also create more jobs. That's the genius of our system, the capitalist system. This is beautiful. Never, never worry about your job. You don't have a job. You have a career. You have a business. You have a mind. You have a heart. And when you combine this being smart and good, you will always succeed. Always. Can never, never fail. AI will control the world. No. Will bad people try and use it? Well, hello, just like bad people try and use anything. AI robots will rule humans. I don't think so. I know it won't. Will there be robots that eventually will be able to think for themselves? Yes. Will they think as well as human beings? No. No. That's the N word. No. Only big companies can use AI. As we said, one of the myths in the very beginning is it's not true. Don't overestimate the cost or the complexity. I'm going to show you some resources where you're going to be able to learn and know this to be fact. You don't just believe me. Fact. More data means better AI. Maybe, but it's always built on the computer principle from 50 years ago. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. AI is no different. AI is no different. Artificial intelligence, human intelligence will always rule. Next slide, please, Randy. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, these two slides are absolutely fundamental for you. So you must look at them, write them down, whatever you want to do. But Randy's going to send you the copy anyway. Yes, IBM. Yeah, that IBM. I told you I was on a panel with the head of AI retail for IBM. Go to ibm.com/AI. There's lots of good free, I love the four-letter F word, free resources here. IBM has a reason that they do this. Well, they want you to use some of their resources. And by the way, IBM is not just for the big players. Everybody can use it. They understand that. It's called the democratization of information. And when that happens, you win. Now, I'm going to also tell you the best site I found for business owners like us to learn and use AI. It's built by small business owners. Okay, there's an investment, $499. But more importantly, your time. You invest $499 in your time at this site, evergreen.com. Notice how they spell it EVYRGREEN, evergreen.com. I know the owner of this and his partner. And Joe Applebaum is dedicated to sharing and teaching and making people aware of how powerful and useful and dynamic the AI tools are. I hardly recommend it. Obviously, I use it. Okay, next slide, please. Again, talking resources. Microsoft Designer. If you don't use it yet, then you're going to thank me for this. Again, I love that four-letter F word. Free. Use it. The process of getting started with Designer begins at accessing the web application, designer.microsoft.com. Whenever these big players put out something and it doesn't cost anything, you know that the real cost is they want you to see, hey, I'm a giver. I share. I'd like you to use my products that cost money. Well, of course. Okay, that's what we all do. Give, invite. Give, invite. And you're there to create business. Remember, business, BUSINESS. The U comes before the I. So use it. It's great. And now the most important resources, the biggest of all resources in the world when it comes to AI and HI is you, YOU. In this podcast today, whatever webinar, not about Barry Shore, not even about Randy, wonderful person she is. It's about you. It's about you becoming the best you possible. So you must, I didn't say you should, you must. You must decide to learn and use AI. It's a must. Now, when you must make the decision is the first part. The next part is discipline. And the third is determination. I call it the 3D process of life: decision, determination, the and what do you call it? Yes, I said a decision and determination and keep going. 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes per day, 6 days a week. Put that in your world. You do that, you will learn to save time using AI and you'll gain your superpower. It can't be anything better. It's not just a promise, it's a guarantee. I guarantee it, or your money back. This is the most important resource you have. You. YOU. Investing 15 minutes per day, 6 days a week. Make the decision, do it, be determined to make that happen, and never, never stop. So, on that high note, I'm going to say to wonderful Randy, I'm open to questions. And oh, yes, we're going to urge everybody to do the following. My name is Barry Shore. We have an amazing community group on Alignable, and truly amazing, called Einstein Cares Community Group. I urge everybody, join because it's to your advantage. As you'll learn, we post every day, we give webinars every week, we do Smart Connect. There's almost 1,000 people there now. We just started a couple of months ago, and this is a resource for you. Einstein Cares Community Group. I lead it. I love it. I love people. I love working with business people, and we're here for one reason only: to serve. So please join and use it to the full.